Hey friend, Kevin Keene here with Sounds to Live By. I'm really excited about today's topic. I hope it unlocks something for you. I know it does for me. But before we dive in, I'm going to pitch my Killer Melody checklist. If you haven't gotten it yet, it's in the link below or the link in the bio. Don't know what you're watching this on, but it's in the link. Grab that. It's going to be something that helps you to craft unforgettable melodies that will captivate your listener and help them remember you the next time they open Spotify or they open Apple Music. They're going to say, I want to hear that melody again. It's been stuck in my head. I want to hear that song again. Get this checklist, put it to work, put it to use, and let it help you write that next hook that you're capable of. Today's topic is going to be big for you as a songwriter to understand, because when it comes to any creative endeavor, our motives are hugely important. Our motivation for doing anything is what really catalyzes great results. If your motives are wrong, if your starting point is wrong, your destination is going to be a lot harder to get to, if it's even possible to get to. So setting your motives at the beginning is key to making sure you can write the best song possible. So I was at a songwriting retreat last January. It was a songwriting retreat for worship leaders. I led worship for 10 years. So I've written over 40-something worship songs. And so I was at this retreat, and there's a big songwriter in the worship world named Jonathan Helser. And it was a Q&A session, and people were throwing questions at him. And one person asked him a question, and his answer was so awesome, and I think about it a lot, and that's what the topic of this video is. But his answer, it wasn't even a songwriting question. I think someone asked, like, how much should you use social media to promote you as an artist and all this. But his answer was, just ask yourself, who's leading, love or fear? What's that voice inside of you that's leading you to make a decision? Is love leading or is fear leading? Now, those are the two great energies in the world. There is love and there is fear. They're the two great motivators, love and fear. And as songwriters, we can look at our motives and say, are we writing out of love or fear? Now, if we can get ourselves to a place of writing out of love, I believe there is limitless potential, untapped creativity in all of us that can be just released in exponential ways if we can write out of a love motivation versus a fear motivation. So what are some examples of writing out of fear? So here's a fear-based motivation we all fall into. I've got to write something people are going to like. Now, you may not want to admit you think that, but we all think that. When I'm thinking of my next melody, I'm thinking, what is going to captivate the listener? What is going to bring them in? And what is going to make them want to keep listening? There's nothing wrong with that. But if I stay there and every song I write, I'm starting from the perspective of, will they like this? I'm limiting my creativity right off the bat. I'm just chopping the legs right off of my ability to create something innovative and a new sound, because I'm only going to really what I've heard before and maybe just recreating it a little bit. If I'm thinking, how are people going to receive this? Are they going to reject me or not? You can watch my video on rejection if you want to see that. But are they going to reject me? Are they going to like it? See how we're going down this spiral? Are they going to like it? If they don't like it, what does that mean about me as a songwriter? And it just keeps going down and down. If they don't like it, should I quit? So it might start innocent with, I need to write something they're going to like, but then it quickly spirals in this fear pattern downward until we're quitting being songwriters because we started with the wrong mindset. So here's the same thing in a love mindset. If we're writing out of love, we're thinking, how can I write something that is going to serve the listener? How can I write something that is just going to impact them for the better? or if it's something that you want to share that's really difficult. If you've heard anything I've put out before, I'm against harmful, negative songs that have no purpose besides just being dark and twisted. I'm against that. I think it's wrong. I do not feel like art does not have any justification, and you don't have any responsibility to consider the good or harm your song is going to do. You can quote me on it. I'm against it. We should not write songs that hurt people. However, we have to write songs about difficult things. We have to write songs about dark things, but I believe we can frame them in light. I believe that we can safely display chaos with order that helps people to experience the tragedy of something without harming them and giving them actual hope for the future. So if we're writing out of love and we want to say, how can I serve the listener? That doesn't mean it always has to be happy and just warm and cuddly and never singing about anything serious or terrible or tragic. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying if we have the mindset first of serving our audience, of loving them with our art, with our craft, do you know what that will do for your creative process? Do you know how much freer you will be? I'm going to have my friend John on at some point, and we're going to talk about how fear shuts down literally your body, like your cellular structure. At the cell level, your cells close up, your brain, all of the creative processes in your brain shut down, and you go into survival mode. You go into fight or flight mode, where all you can do is either fight or run, and that's not a place to create beautiful art out of. You cannot, while running away from a tiger, be composing your greatest symphony. You just can't. It has to be done out of rest and out of peace. And I know that artists are usually tortured, and a lot of great art comes out of pain. I think even in pain, you can love someone. I think pain and fear are different. So we might have to dive into that topic. But if you focus on understanding how you as a songwriter can get into a love state and let go of fear, let go of worry, let go of all these things that try to just smother the creative in you, and you can get into a love state, you will find your songs go to the next level. I guarantee you. I guarantee it. Begin to look at some of your creative process. How much worry, anxiety, stress is involved, and how much rest and peace and joy is coming out of what you're doing. I'm not saying it's always easy. Ease and rest are different things. We can be working hard and be in a mental and spiritual state of rest. I've seen it time and time again in my life. There's been really strenuous seasons, but if I'm in the right mindset, I'm a believer, so if I'm right with God and I am communicating with Him, we're on the same page, I'm putting Him first in my life, I know that I'm in a place of rest and peace, and then out of that, I can do what I need to do. But if I'm stressed and anxious and worried and I sit down to write a song, it's going to be like trying to run while holding a bag of bricks. I mean, it's going to be noticeably limited. And so I think finding ways for you to release stress, release anxiety, dealing with, we have a friend and she was just sharing with us how she was on antidepressants or some kind of anxiety medication. And thankfully, her doctor was like, I'm only going to let you be on this for a limited amount of time. You need to figure out what is causing you anxiety and stress, because I'm not going to prescribe this to you anymore after this X amount of months. Kudos to that guy, because people that are medicated forever and never allowed to find the root cause of something is a terrible idea. That person is going to live a lesser life than what they could by not dealing with the root cause of something. So if you have a lot of stress and anxiety in your creative process, there's some things you need to figure out. There's some questions you need to ask, some hard things you need to look at and say, why am I tied up in this area? And really begin to do some inner work and find out what that is. So didn't mean to go this deep on this episode, but start to look at your creative process and say, am I writing out of love or am I writing out of fear? Comment below. Let me know what you think about this. Is there areas that you have employed this? And maybe you can look at different songs and say, I remember this song, I was loving myself and others, and I was in a love state when I wrote this, and it's amazing. I love this song. Maybe you can identify some songs that were like, yeah, I was stressed out when I wrote this song, and I couldn't really, I think a lot of unfinished songs is because we get in a fear state about either how people are going to receive them or what it's going to sound like, or if it's really what we want to say, and we get in this fear state and we shut down and don't finish. So there might be many songs you have not even finished because of a fear state of songwriting. So look at some of your songs, comment below, let me know what you think. I'd love to get some of your feedback on this, and email me with your comments. I'd also love if you have any other songwriting topics you'd like to hear about. Shoot me an email. I'd love to dive into them. And we can do some live Q&As here at some point, but I'd love to hear your thoughts. I want to know if these videos are helping you and how they can help you more. So let me know. I want this to be beneficial to you. If it's not beneficial to anybody, I'll just quit doing them because it takes a lot of time and I want to do things that are beneficial to people. I'll do something different to try and benefit the songwriting community. And so let me know. Shoot me an email. I'd love to hear your feedback. If you didn't grab that Killer Melody checklist yet, the link is below or in the bio. And grab that, put it to work, let it help you, and I will see you next time.